Well, they picked up the pressure on us, and we were passive against their pressure, turned it over like eight times. They had 12 points off our turnovers. I think the fact that they just like really ratcheted up the pressure, the intensity, we just took a step back and we were almost shell-shocked to the point where we were staying perimeter, we were isolating, looking for threes, we weren't closing out as tightly as possible to them. I think Reggie Jackson might have been 3 for 3 in that quarter from 3. And the turnovers mixed in with the poor shot selection, mixed in with the kind of lackadaisical defense that we played as a result was what happened in the second quarter. But we fought back, and I was proud of the guys for earlier in the season. If we had gotten down like that and had a quarter like that, it would have been – we would not have fought back and gotten back to within – I think we got back within 6. And I was proud of the guys for that.
And what did you say at halftime after that second quarter?
Well, I told them exactly what I told you, that when a team ratchets up the pressure and I told them 2 things. The first part was everything that we did in the first quarter as far as our ball movement, our intention on both ends of the floor, our hard cuts and the things that were working for us, we didn't do in the second quarter, partly because of the intensity and the defensive fire that the Clippers played with. And we need to learn that when teams pick up the pressure like they did defensively, we can't become passive. We have to meet force with force. That was the message.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jonathan Fagan.
We ask a lot about sort of the experiences that Kevin is picking up. What's the value of a game like this, where he obviously was very successful as a playmaker, but these huge swings for a point guard in particular to have a game, to go experience a game like this?
It's huge. It's huge for him. I mean, the reads that he had to make against their defense, the pressure that they put on him, the switching that they did, dealing with Kawhi and all that he brings to the game is on both ends of the floor. And he, I'm sure he learned a lot, but he was just playing. He just didn't hesitate and went and created for his teammates. And when he had the opportunity to get to the rim, he would get to the rim. He shot a couple catch and shoot threes, which are good for him because as he continues to progress shooting those, teams will start closing out to him more. Now he'll be able to drive the ball into the paint. So every experience is a learning experience, and we're learning about him. He's learning about the game. He's learning about us and our style of play. But to play a quality defensive team like we played tonight, and for him to have the success that he had is something to build on.
Thank you.
Zach Allen.
Hey, Coach. What type of adjustments went on inside the third quarter? And how did you like the two-man game between Kevin Porter Jr. and, of course, Christian Wood? And how efficient was that two-man game for you, Coach?
I thought it was good. KP, I see he was 4 for 13, but the plays he was making to Christian, they're finding a connection. And as far as adjustments, we were adjusting all game. We were going kind of from switching to blitzing to playing a little bit more standard at times. Kawhi Leonard is a hard person to guard, and you keep giving him the like one-on-one looks. He was hurting us with those. But as far as the connection between KP and Christian and the things I'm trying to do for them, getting them playing on one side of the floor where KP's turning the corner and Christian's either rolling or popping, gets KP into the teeth of the defense where he is big and he can make plays to the weak side, or if he draws Christian's defender with him, he can make the play back. And doing more things like that are things that we'll probably continue to do. But as many situations as I can get those guys in together, they can learn how to play with each other. They can learn how to play against different defenses, and all of that is good for the progress of our team.
Jonathan Fagan.
Kind of similarly, you go from maybe the best three-point shooting team ever to the best three-point shooter ever tomorrow. Do you feel like you guys were doing better in that comeback in the second half at running them off the line a little more? And is that something that in those different defenses you described can also be done?
Yeah, I mean, in the switching, ideally you wouldn't be having to help as much. If you're staying body on body and you can keep guys in front of you. The problem is at times tonight we were switching, we were opening up, they were allowed to get into the paint, and now you're helping and they're kicking the three-point shooters. The blitzing forces you to rotate and forces you to sprint to your closeouts. And in the third quarter, we did that much better. We sprinted to our closeouts and ran them off the line and ran them into some 2-point shots, which is what we want. We want to force guys off the three-point line and get them in the mid-range too. And tomorrow night is a different beast because a lot of them are either catch and shoots off screens or pick and rolls for the three. So it's a little bit different than this team because they're such a spot-up three-based team. But the principles are the same as far as getting them off of those threes and getting them inside the three-point arc.